My name is Anya Nadel. I'm a 14-year-old Jewish girl. This is my story about the concentration camps. I have a family of 4. Samuel, he's 6 years old, my father, and my pregnant mother. We are in our emergency house that is underground with another family for about 2 months. When my mother gave birth to my sister Sophia, that's when we were captured. My name is Anya Nadel, and I am 14 years old. I am a Jewish girl, and this is my story. My father has always told me that I was a dreamer, that I could always see the good in the world, even when it was very small. That's how I knew something was really bad when I couldn't find anything to cheer Samuel up on the way to the camps. I knew what was going to happen. My mother had passed away in the middle of the birth of Sophia, and Sophia ended up dying as well. Our only hope was that we wouldn't be separated during the camp search. We had finally got there, but the dread in my stomach had turned into an ice dagger. Just our luck. We were all separated. I knew at the moment that we were going to die. I headed toward my group as slowly as possible. When I looked up, there was a man. He didn't look Jewish with his light hair and blue eyes, compared to my darker skin and dark hair with dark eyes. It snapped in my brain that maybe he could be American. Why would he purposely put himself in a camp? Should I tell so he won't have to go through the misery and pain, or would that just get him killed? 3 days had passed in the camp, and I had befriended the man. His name was James. He and a few others were in the camp have been slowly tearing down the camp from the inside. He wanted to break me and my family out next. I told him about my brother and father. The next day, James had told me that my father was still alive, but sadly, Samuel was not. He had died in a gas chamber on the 3rd day. After crying for hours and hours, I decided I should break out as soon as possible to save my father and I. The next day, my plan was put into action. We had dug it under the fence and gotten my father out as well. We ran as far as we could. We had at least run 10 miles. The sun was coming up and the Nazis would be looking for us. We knew people nearby, but I had no idea if they would let us in. It was worth a shot. We explained to her everything. You could tell it was a little debate on whether or not she should let us in, but eventually she did. Around 7 months later, my father fell really ill. It was 1 week till my 15th birthday. I thought he would make it till after, but he ended up not making past 1 day. On my 15th birthday, I was alone. I had no one left. I walked to the edge of town and found James. We had almost the same identification numbers. Mine was 64870. His was 64871. One off. 5 years later, James died of exhaustion at the age of 25. I was married to my rescuer at 17 and moved to America. You never know who the people are around you, and sometimes they are good, sometimes they are bad. I was lucky enough to be among heroes.